Hi, I'm Chris,
And I'm Teal,
and you are now.
connected to the
Hey,
vine.
babe, let them know, what is the Vine?
The Vine is our organization for family and marriage. Chris and I have a very strong passion for wholeness, and that's in the form of family and especially marriage. We've been involved in premarital for the last 4 years. The last few years involved in marriage retreats and speaking engagements and things of that sort. So we came together and developed the Vine, and the Vine is our collective organization that deals with family and marital workshops, retreats, and excursions. It's important that you understand the whole picture, and the whole picture is the vine. The vine produces fruit, and that's what we're all about, is being fruit bearing. And so we have the collective, which is the vine, and then we also have the individual components dealing with the wives and the husbands. So that is the vine.
And what we'll be doing is coming to you guys with topics of discussion that range from different ends of the spectrum. We want to bring real topics, real conversations with you, things that people are dealing with. So we want to be solution oriented, and we think that open dialogue is the best way to do that. So we'll just be coming to you with certain topics. If you guys have topics you would like for us to discuss, you can inbox us, and we'll open it up for discussion and go from there. Today's topic is being married with friends of the opposite sex. Lots of people think that once you're married, you shouldn't have friends of the opposite sex. Some people don't see anything wrong with it. Being a married couple with friends of the opposite sex, we don't think there's anything wrong with it, depending on where you are in your marriage. So, Teal, what would you have to say on the topic of discussion?
I wasn't raised to determine a friend by gender. I was raised to determine a friend by characteristics. And so I've never governed myself to the point where I segmented friendship based on gender. And so we brought that into our marriage as well, that we can be friends with the opposite sex. Now, also keep in mind, like Chris said, your relationship has to be at a certain place. The individuals have to be mature enough, and your marriage has to be solid enough for you to be able to have those friendships. And those friendships evolve into collective friendships. My friends become Chris's friends. Chris's friends become my friends. So it's not this isolation where he just has female friends that he talks to I don't know about, that I don't talk to, or that I have male friends that I talk to that he doesn't know about and he doesn't connect with. We all connect. So that's how I feel about it. I feel as long as your relationship is strong enough to handle it, then a married couple can have friends of the opposite sex.
So, Teal, why do you think that is, that most people and most marriages, once they get married, they become isolated, or even friends that they've had long before their spouse, they cut off? Why do you think that is?
I think marriages in all relationships go through phases. And so when you first get married, you're so engulfed in each other that there is a period of isolation. But at the same time, as you evolve within your marriage and you find your marital norms within your relationship, then you start to open back up and receive people and accept people, follow the spirit and who you're supposed to connect with. And I think there are some unrealistic expectations on marriage by society as well as spouses in marriages, because it's unrealistic to think that your spouse isn't going to interact with the opposite sex, whether it's at work, in the grocery store, I don't know, in everyday life, you're going to interact with the opposite sex, and sometimes there is a connection there that needs to be cultivated. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's carnal. And then I also believe that being led by the Spirit, you're going to have to witness, minister, whatever the Spirit leads you to do to the opposite sex. And if your relationship isn't strong enough to handle that, then how are you going to be used by God?
I would agree. So you're saying that it's more about the fruits of the Spirit, being able to be self-disciplined, controlling with whatever situation that you're in to not be tempted. That it's more so about that, because it is unrealistic to live in a society where, especially for men, women outnumber us 10-1. So I think those are some of the reasons that divorce numbers are increasing, because it's like we try to fit a square into a circle, and it's just not possible. So I know for us in our marriage, we are open, we're honest, we have dialogue and real discussion about our true thoughts, feelings, emotions, interactions, and different relationships. And it's definitely helped our marriage grow and blossom. And in doing that, it's allowed us to be best friends. If I have anything that I need to say, talk about, ask, or get off my chest, I know the first person that I could come to is my wife, and that's how it should be. So, hey, this is, just our take on it. You guys leave your comments, give your opinions, and if there are any other topics of discussions that you would like to for us to have, hey, just inbox us, let us know.
And most importantly, have the conversation. This is designed to bring about discussion. Maybe you and your spouse have never openly had a conversation about how you really feel about having friends of the opposite sex. And again, it's not that we're going out seeking these friends. I'm not one to believe that God would only allow us to be friends with the same sex.
When you look at the life of a figure like Jesus, he was surrounded by women. And I think the Bible even focuses the attention off of that. They put more of the attention on the males, the 12 disciples.
Right.
But in pivotal points in the Bible, you can see where he was surrounded by women. And I think if we have the fruits of the Spirit, the discipline, the self-control, you're coming from a place of love from your heart, instead of just trying to be intimate with someone in a sexual way. Because it's different intimate relationships. A deep conversation is intimate. And I just think we should get back to intimacy, get back to love without it being such a sex-driven
Carnal
world.
Yeah.
So that was a good point that you made. You brought an interesting point up, in our purpose in life. A lot of times, it's not about what society has put out there as a standard, but more so about, walking in your purpose. And like you said, a lot of times that will, you will come across encounters where you have to interact with the opposite sex. You're not supposed to conform to the ways of the world. Every marriage is supposed to be different, as each individual is different. This is not one size fits all when it comes to marriage or anything else in life. When we are individuals, each of us are unique as a fingerprint. So for us to try to live or govern our lives under one rule or the same way, it's just not going to work out. And I think that's why there are more divorces. Even in what you would call a Christian relationship. Those are where you're having more of the divorces. So we're just here to live and speak our truth. We're here to create dialogue.
With our relationship, you will find, if you choose to follow us, and we'll probably cover this in another discussion, but we don't live our lives to societal rules, nor do we govern our marriage traditionally. And so a lot of things that we do may seem odd or strange, crazy to some people, but as Chris alluded to, as you look at the life of Christ and as we try to be more Christ-like and really govern ourselves in that way, a lot of things that we will do, if you compare it to the world standards, don't look the same. And it shouldn't, because we don't follow the rules of society. We follow our spirit. And so a lot of things that we do don't look normal, including having friends of the opposite sex. Now,
you guys, have any comments or any topics that you would like for us to discuss, hey, leave a comment, send us an inbox, as most of you guys do. We love the feedback. Just know that we are busy.
Being fruitful.
We're busy being fruitful. So don't think that we're ignoring you. So you guys, thank you for joining us. I'm Chris.
And I'm Teal.
And we are
Team
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Teal.
And
You're now connected to the vine.
Bra.
Bing. We're doing the whole thing over?
No, you're still recording.